store begging for your change. The hair on his face is dirty, dreadlocked and full of mange. And he asks a man what he can spare with shame in his eyes. Well, get a job, you fucking slob, is all he replies. And God forbid you ever had to walk a mile in his shoes, 'cause then you really might know what it's like to sing the blues. Yeah, then you really might know what it's like. Then you really might know what it's like. Then you really might know what it's like. Yeah, then you really might know what it's like. Mary got pregnant from a kid named Tom who said he was in love. He said, "Oh, worry about a thing, baby doll, I'm the man you've been dreaming of." But 3 months later says he won't date her or return her calls. And she swears, goddamn, if I find that man, I'm cutting off his balls. So she heads to the clinic and she gets some static walking through the door. And they call her a killer, and they call her a sinner, and they call her a whore. And God forbid you ever had to walk a mile in her shoes, 'cause then you really might know what it's like to have to choose. Yeah, then you really might know what it's like. Then you really might know what it's like. Then you really might know what it's like. Yeah, then you really might know what it's like. I've seen a rich man beg, I've seen a good man sin, I've seen a tough man cry. I've seen a loser win and a sad man grin. I heard an honest man lie. I've seen the good side of bad and the downside of up and everything between. Drank from the golden cup, I licked the silver spoon, I smoked the finest green. I struck the fattest dimes at least a couple of times before I broke their heart. You know where it ends, it usually depends on where you start. Knew this kid named Max who used to get fat stacks out on the corner with drugs. He liked to hang out late, he liked to get shit-faced and keep pace with thugs. Until late one night there was a big gunfight and Max lost his head. Pulled out a Chrome 45 and talked some shit and wound him dead. Now his wife and his kids are caught in the midst of all this pain. You know it crumbles that way, at least that's what they say when you